Yo, we back. We here.
I told you I wasn't going to say any words this episode.
You just broke that. That's too bad. Hey guys, welcome back to another daily content. Super excited to see you guys. Super excited to hang out with you guys. Super excited to get back on the podcast train.
We've been podcasting all week.
I know.
What are you talking about? I'm ready to get off the podcasting train.
Fun fact, we podcasted all of our earlier episodes, the past 4 this week. We podcasted those in June of 2020. So
we crushed it if we did that.
We did.
If that's the case, we absolutely crushed it.
We're just a bunch of liars.
Timon, I'm going to tell you a story, and this story starts with an introduction. I'm your host, Lincoln.
And I'm your host, Timon.
And this is Daily Content, a podcast we do every single day. Talking to you.
Talking to you.
So
good story.
So 3 p.m. rolled around today, which is Thursday, and I thought to myself, man, I'm dying. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten all day. I didn't eat dinner last night. I didn't have anything for breakfast. Ooh. I'm so hungry.
Ooh.
So I got off work at 4, came home, thought, I'll just chill. We'll podcast at like 5, and then I'll be able to go get some food. We are now starting the podcast after the time I thought I could go to the store and come back and then cook myself the food.
2 hours later, right? Yeah. Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties. We're doing a new thing today. Do we want to talk about that? Nah, let's not talk about it. You guys can find it on YouTube. We talked about it. And so, yeah, it just took a little bit of time.
Only if they can.
Only if they can. Maybe. We'll see what happens. We're trying something new today. So, what's up, guys? Lincoln's hungry. Lincoln's angry. And I have a lot of content to talk about. And we have questions from you. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Make sure you get us your questions by 7:30 p.m. on Thursdays, because that's when we do Thursday podcasts now, apparently.
7:15, give or take. Golf Lessons with John. This podcast is brought to you by Golf Lessons with John. He's on Facebook. He is our sponsor. He is our best friend, and he can make you swing your golf swings much golfier. Golf Lessons with John on Facebook. Make sure to go follow him. He's in Bowling Green, Ohio. He's got tons of tips, and I have no clue if he did golf lessons during the winter. I hope he did. That was one thing he was doing.
We talked about it. But that is no longer relevant because soon it will be spring, and that is outdoor golfing season.
Back to the grind.
Yes.
I'm super excited for spring. It's in the air, and with spring comes golfing. And you want to improve on your golf swing, so make sure to go follow Golf Lessons with John on Facebook.
Listeners, I've got a secret for you, and here's that secret. I spend about 80% of the podcast not looking at Timon.
Nice. Really?
Yeah. I don't.
Today is a different day.
Now that we're recording it with the video, I'm so much more conscious about not looking at you.
You should look right at the video and not look at us. We're trying to do he's looking right at the video, not looking at me. We're trying to do some video content on Fridays, and I think that's going to be a new thing going forward. So we're talking about it here, so I guess we got to do it. Look forward to our really, really, really rough GoPro video of us.
I'm super excited every Thursday night to sit down very uncomfortably on the couch and talk.
I know. I'm going to have to get haircuts on Wednesdays, so I look good on Thursdays. All right, so we got some questions. You're
wearing a hat.
I am. And it says daily content on it. I'll show it to the viewers.
Where can the listeners buy that hat, Timon? Then why are you wearing it? We talked about this. We talked about it.
We argued about this. We argued off air.
All I'm saying is, if we're gonna show people merchandise that says daily content, they should be able to buy it.
It was a gift from my little brothers, so shout out to them. I'm sure it's available for purchase. I just don't know where or how. That's called a mystery. You guys can put that mystery together.
You can Scooby-Doo that and Shaggy on back here and tell us.
Yeah. We'd love to know how you guys did it.
Or so something.
We could buy more hats.
Yep.
So anyways, let's get to the questions. Or do you have stuff you want to talk about?
My boss called me poor today.
Like
poor.
Is there like a
P-O-O-R?
Was it like a because you?
So I did. Is
it wealth?
No, I did something earlier this week, and I've been debating talking about it on the podcast because you know how like when you do the right thing, sometimes it's super dumb and you shouldn't have done it anyways.
Yep. Like one time this guy gave me cash in Taco Bell and it was like extra $10 because he couldn't figure out how to do the cash, and I gave it back to him. It was dumb. I could have had extra $10.
That happened to me recently. I was given extra change and I gave it back, and I can't remember when that happened exactly. We've podcasted so much I can't remember what we talk about.
Yep.
That's the point we're getting to. But anyways, something I can remember talking about today. Earlier this week, I found a $20 bill in the snow outside of my work. And I brought it in. I gave it to my boss. Said, hey, I don't know if anyone lost some dollars. I found this, out. Told her where. And I've been thinking about if I really should have done that. It's like I should have just put it in my pocket and not.
Have you ever heard of the phrase? And this is like almost like a ancient law: finders keepers.
Yeah.
Losers weepers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And so definitely it was the right thing to turn it in case someone lost $20. I would want to get $20 back if I dropped it somewhere and if I'd realized I dropped it.
Yeah.
But like,
who's going to go in and say, hey,
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
I see.
My boss didn't roll her eyes at me.
Okay.
But it felt almost like she could have rolled her eyes at me. It was just like, this is dumb. Just put it in your pocket. It's not that big of a deal. It's $20.
Right.
So today she gave it to me. She's like, hey, no one say anything. Said you can have it. I said, oh no, like you buy snacks and candy for your office. Why don't you just do that with it? Because you buy us all snacks all the time. She goes, no. You need it more than I do.
You're poor.
Yep. Said,
did she say you're poor?
No.
Okay, so you're just inferring that.
Because she makes more money than I do, I need it more than her. Yeah.
I think the office snacks and stuff are probably purchased by the company and therefore like a tax write-off.
I don't know. Do you think the company purchases the food that she makes at home and brings in for us? Did they purchase the supplies for the chili mac she made a week and a half ago for us?
That's true. That's probably not.
And so that's kind of what I was getting at. It's like you make things for the office and bring them in. Why don't you just use that for this?
That makes sense.
But she said I was poor and I needed it. So she clarified.
And she was right.
Yeah, she clarified. She goes, no, as in you're not married. You just have one income instead of two.
That's worse.
Said, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So it's been a sad day to be me.
You're like, hungry, poor.
I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry.
It's just it's typical Thursday.
I recently told myself I wouldn't buy any more King Euros because I realized. Well, I didn't realize. I speculated that I could be spending nearly $100 a month there.
Oh yeah,
if I get it every weekend, once a weekend for me and the other person who eats King Euros with me.
Yes.
Which is usually $25 for two people, which isn't all that bad.
The other person is Timon.
Which isn't really that bad
right.
if you're $25. But if we do that every weekend, that's $100 a month.
Yeah.
That I could be wasting on other things I'd like more.
Yeah. And how many times is it not just once a weekend? How many, do you think that in a week's time you would get King Euros twice?
That's happened. I don't think it's the norm though. I think the average would be once a weekend. There are times where we do it more, definitely, but there are also times that we don't go to King Euros in a weekend.
Yeah, that's true. So it evens out.
I would have to look at my bank account, but that would make me more depressed.
Yeah, don't look at your bank account.
So I'm not going to do that.
Pro tip to building wealth: don't look at your bank account.
Never look at your bank account.
Yeah.
Just don't spend anything ever.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder how that King Euros, like Valentine's Day.
I do too.
Yeah.
I never bought raffles tickets, guys.
Yeah.
Never did.
That'll come back to haunt us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that is what it is. Sad days.
Do you want to cover something else before we get into the questions?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, possibly. Okay, so I was on Facebook. I don't know if you get in.
So no?
Yes. I don't know if you ever get into the place where you just get a little ornery. You know, you just feel kind of like, I don't know.
I know you do.
I get in the mood sometimes where I just like, I say things and I see things and I just
hate having to make eye contact with you in order to make it look good on video.
I always
just
look
normally just be looking somewhere over here on my phone or like because that's not important because we're just recording the audio.
I always look directly at you. And I watch you look around the room.
And it's better if I don't make noises while you talk because it bleeds into your mic and it sounds worse.
So I was on Facebook and I saw this guy post this post, and I'm going to read this post to you real quick if that's all right. Mm-hmm. Trans species man who self-identifies as a deer accidentally shot by hunters. And there's a picture of this trans species man. I'll show you real quick. Right? Looks kind of like a deer. Right?
This looks like fake news.
Yeah, probably fake news. And here's the headline. A South Carolina man who self-identifies as a deer has been transported to the hospital via helicopter after being shot by 2 hunters. And this guy has antlers, and he looks like a deer, has like one of those, I want to say furry masks. I think that's the only way to kind of appropriately describe how that mask looks. And so then I saw it and couldn't help but comment.
There's a lot of questions running through my brain right now about this. Continue. We can get into that.
And what I commented, I said, he shouldn't be taken to the hospital. He should be taken to the vet because he's a deer.
I mean, I agree. I don't think a lot of people take deer to the vet after they're hit on the side of the road.
Where do you think they take them?
I think they just finish killing them.
So that makes sense.
Right?
Maybe, but like
you track an animal that you shoot and then you make sure you kill it.
But if it's like a special deer, you know what I'm saying? It's like the prize deer that you want to save for a while and you call the vet.
For what?
You know when we used to go on those bike rides?
You're shooting it already.
Yeah, but
wouldn't you try to, if you wanted to get a prize buck for whatever purpose that isn't killing and putting the horns on your wall and eating the meat, why would you start with a gun to begin with? Why wouldn't you just get like a big net?
Throw it over. That makes sense, right? But these hunters thought it was a deer and shot. But let's say this.
It was a deer.
Yeah. It is a deer.
He identified as a deer.
And they shot it. Yeah.
So he was a deer.
You're saying they should just finish the job and.
Well, was it a human or was it a deer?
That's a really good question. And you should have gone to the vet.
No. You don't take deer. You don't take deer that you are intending to kill to the vet. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Did you ever watch that Rick and Morty episode where she does open heart surgery on the deer? Okay.
Rick and Morty makes me too sad. There's a lot of darkness in that show.
It's so good. Anyways, I thought that was pretty funny. I thought I'd bring it up on a podcast, but it was shot down horribly, and it's true. Should have just killed the guy, the deer.
The deer. Well, no, it's not a guy. It's a deer. Right? Because they self-identify as a deer.
Isn't that part of like the deer's life cycle too? Is like to get shot by a hunter.
I mean,
like, isn't that part of? Yeah. Well, a lot of deer do get killed by a number of different ways, but you can kill by a hunter as one of those. And I feel like if you self-identify as a deer, you should assume those risks, knowing that that's part of a percentage of possibilities of how you would die.
So when you grow up around woods and you go in the woods, there are certain things you do and don't do because certain times are hunting season.
Yeah.
And one of those things is if it's hunting season and you're hanging out in the woods, you wear something bright so a hunter doesn't think you're a deer.
Right.
Let alone if you're dressed like a deer also.
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but like,
it's unfortunate.
If you're a deer, hunters shoot deer. So
yeah.
You gonna be mad about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Good points. Great points, actually. So, yeah. So we have some questions. Let's switch over to the questions. You got some questions there?
What does it say about John if he drinks gold lager? Dortmunder gold lager? Probably just means you like...
You just text us that?
Yeah. Probably just means he likes that brand of gold lager. At first I thought he was saying he drank Goldschlager, but he didn't say that. So
Dortmunder Gold Lager. I'm not sure. John, hope you're doing all right, buddy.
John, it doesn't say anything bad about you. It's okay.
I'm gonna have to Google.
Enjoy the beverages you enjoy. It's fine.
Google it. He just texted us that.
Be responsible in those endeavors. Don't drink too much, or do. It's none of my business.
All right, Dortmunder Gold Lager. It is a Great Lakes Brewing Company.
Much like Champagne Velvet, never heard of it.
Yeah, never heard of either of those beers. Yeah, honestly, John, it just probably says you're sophisticated and you like craft beer and you really enjoy a smooth malt and crisp hop flavors. So it's a year-round beer, and yeah, John, good for you. John had another question.
He did. You wanna get into that?
Yeah, we can definitely get into that.
I haven't read this question yet.
So, all right, I could go. Recently, my best friend said he and I couldn't hang out as much as we did before. We would play video games and stuff like that, but he's working a lot on an important job right now, and him and his family are even trying to look at houses to move a little bit away for his new job. That was really hard on me, and I even feel guilty about feeling bad because he's moving on to bigger and better things. So I thought I was being selfish for feeling sad. Any piece of advice on how to make new friends or how to move on from people you were really close to? You don't have to get to it on Friday if you have a lot of content already. Thanks, baby. Or BBS. Is that what baby means? Thanks, BBS?
I don't know.
BBs? All Urban Dictionary, what BBS means.
I don't know.
I know it's a term of endearment. John, sounds like we're your new best friends. Perfect.
I thought he was talking about us.
Yeah, we moved away to do this. BBS is an acronym for Bulletin Board System. So, right back at you.
I've always wanted to be a bulletin board system.
BBS is, Urban Dictionary says it also means big ball syndrome.
I've always wanted to be a bulletin board system.
Big and beautiful, sir. I have no clue.
Cool.
But yeah, that's tough.
No, this is not good.
What's not good?
We gotta pause this. Go.
Okay, we're back.
It was fine.
Yeah, just technical difficulties brought to you by Golf Lessons with John.
Yep.
Our sponsor. Find him on Facebook.
That is where he is, on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, he is on Facebook. So back to John's question. Great question, John. First, I want to thank you for just being willing to, at least tell us what you felt and how you felt. And, it sounds like you felt a little guilty and sad about certain things. And so I understand that. It's cool that you were willing to at least use your sadness and guilt for our content. So thank you.
Everything's content.
Everything's content.
Everything's content.
That's good. I was on a walk today and thinking about your question. And it's tough. I mean, relationships are tough, period. Mm-hmm. And they're weird. They're not like a constant. They're like up and downs and stuff. And so if he is your best friend, and he does need a little time off, like you kind of have to understand that in a way, and it's a two-way path, right? It's like a give and take. And so even if you're giving and he's not willing to receive or take, like you gotta be constant, but you gotta understand like they might not reciprocate. And so yeah, it's tough. And I've been in a situation before where I had a really close friend and we parted ways abruptly. It was difficult, and you feel a lot of things internally, both. You feel it.
Yeah, I if you do.
Yeah, and so what helped me through those times, John, was not. I think as maybe this is me personally. Sometimes I compartmentalize and try not to deal with those emotions. Sometimes you just gotta deal with them. Like you gotta think about it. You just gotta feel those things. And after a while, time heals everything. But I don't think that's where you guys are at with this friendship. But maybe this is one door closing and another door opening to something bigger and better, which is the second part of your question. But before I get to that, do you have anything you want to say on that?
I think my advice, and I've done this before. You gotta find out what their new address is. They're moving into a house. You gotta probably a housewarming gift. You want to really just let the relationship go where it's gonna go. Start sending them dead animals in boxes. That's my recommendation.
Send them deer.
Just go to the ham store. Go to the pet store and say, hey, what pets didn't sell this week? And
oh my gosh,
go back to where they keep all those and just Sometimes it might be a couple of hamsters. Sometimes it might be a handful of mice. It's a puppy
Sometimes
here
it's
and
a
there.
ham if you go to the ham store.
The ham store, yeah. That would be my advice. Just mail them dead animals, probably. You got to really make them think about what they've done.
Make them work
and
for it.
Ruining the relationship, and know that you're not a person to be messed with. That's my advice.
It's good advice. So for the second part, he asks how to make new friends, right?
So you got to find their address.
All these new people.
I mean, you got to pick one or two.
Yeah.
It's best if they don't know you first. And then you got to go to the pet store. Then you got to find the pets that didn't sell that week.
Or month,
that day. Who
day.
knows?
Yep.
Depends on the store, I guess, how busy they are.
Yeah.
Or aren't. John, I have no idea how to make new friends. I haven't made a new friend in 5 years.
Phil,
so
come on.
I've been friends with Phil for 5 years.
I haven't been friends with Phil for 5 years.
I knew him first. I like proximity.
Yeah,
Like
that helps.
seeing who your friends are friends with and trying to be friends with those people. I don't know.
Yeah. I would say church. It's just church is weird right now, and maybe sometimes church friends aren't that great. So I don't know. It depends on the church. I would say like find a group or an activity to be a part of. That always helps. But that's tough right now because of COVID. So my best advice for you, John, is start a podcast because those people will be your friends for life.
And then start filming it so that you produce less good content from being camera shy.
That animals was pretty great. So.
It is. All I'm saying is, does the internet really need 2 more white guys talking on video?
Yes. That's what they're craving.
Sure. So office decor.
Elisa.
We talked about this earlier this week. As you can tell by everything you're seeing around us, we are a set of men with lots of decor.
For the listeners who are just listening on the podcast, it looks really rough around here.
Yeah, this video is going to look terrible. So, Lisa said, I always get nervous because I feel like I'm going to say her name wrong. Elisa said, hey, thanks for thinking of me while wondering about desk decor. Here's my do's and don'ts of how to jazz up an office space.
Oh, I love it.
Should I start with the do's or the don'ts first?
Ooh, to go any direction you want to go.
I'm going to start with the do's first.
Wait. Elisa, which one should we go with? The do's.
We'll answer on next week's. We'll start with the do's because that's what she started with.
Nice.
Pictures, conversational items personal to you, globe or hourglass, classy stuff, and
cool.
plants.
Ooh, I like the globe or hour. That is pretty classy. And plants. Those are all really good suggestions. Yep. What are the don'ts?
Don't. And these are all based on real life things I've seen. And easy button. Like Staples, Easy or whatever, Office Max, whatever. Now bankrupt office supply store that came from. Awards you've bought for yourself. A coffee mug display rack. Collection of empty pop bottles turned into, and this is in quotes, decor. In the end, it's all about sanity. If you have something you like that will improve your day, put it on your desk.
Well, that's good. Good advice, Elisa.
I'm here for that.
After this, I'm going to have to go clean off my desk.
It really seems like she was just describing Michael Scott's desk from The Office.
Yeah.
In the don'ts section. Which is fine, I think, probably.
Yeah. The one thing I don't have is the pop cans, like the decor of the pop cans. Mine are all beer cans.
They're all right in front. You can't see them when you're on calls.
Right.
But they're all just a wall / piles. Just
yes.
No.
Yes. And there's just no order. It's just whenever I get done and I put another one there. And it just collects. It's beautiful.
It just collects.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Elisa. That was really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I will if I ever get office decor, I will put pictures on the internet.
Nice.
Of it.
Put on daily content.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Speaking of other pictures, I'm going to put on daily content. We talked at length about the Grace Confessions Twitter account.
Yes.
And I got a burp. And I went back through the tweets and found where I hacked the account and screenshotted the tweet. So that will get reposted tomorrow on the daily content.
Love to put that on
Instagram.
Yep. That's awesome. That's really cool.
It happened. It really happened. It was me.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe me. That's fine.
Lincoln's a hacker, man.
I'm a hacker, man.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So the questions, I've been dying to hear these.
The questions. Yeah. So I got 2 questions from Aaron, right?
Sick.
And then I have a comment from Alea. I also want to give a shout out to Caesar Salad for loving our Kyle content. Also,
thank you, Caesar Salad.
Yeah, thank you, Caesar Salad. Also, Abe, he posted a story on his Instagram and really appreciated it.
He posted us on a story on Instagram?
Yeah.
When?
It was of the Kyle video, and he put Kyle on it. It was pretty great. He did this whole like artsy thing about Kyle. It was cool. Yeah, it had a whole song about Kyle too. It was really interesting. So people are loving the Kyle content. I missed that. It's gone now. It was on a story. So
oh my god,
too late.
I would have reposted it. I'm sorry, Abe.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I don't know how to repost stuff on.
I wasn't tagged in it. Like I didn't get a notification. So
yeah. So I got an email. I don't know how to do Instagram. So I got an email. I got a text message from Alea, my sister. You can
email us questions as well.
At timidspodcast@gmail.com.
Old.
Oh, yes. Which is a good percentage of our demographic.
Or you're in Canada and you don't have social media.
Yeah. Email us, Canada, at timidspodcast@gmail.com. So Alea says 2 things. One, she gives me her address, which I'm not going to say here. And she would love a Christmas engagement photo that we're going to be putting together. So we got the address. I'm super excited for that. So just a reminder, listeners, if you guys have addresses you want to send to us, we won't say them on air, but we'll send you a photo. And maybe some animals.
Well, they were animals.
They were animals. And then
Alea, that request wasn't really directed at you. I know where you live. But thank you anyways.
Yeah, well, we can't wait. She's excited to put it on her refrigerator.
Nice.
So we'll sign it. I'm going to sign a copy.
Cool.
XOXO BBS. She says
bulletin board system.
She said, real talk, I am terrible at euchre. Last time I played, I had several people. This is when we talked about euchre a couple weeks back. And she sent this message to me a couple weeks back. I'm now just reading it.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
You remember last week when we didn't have any questions?
I slept since then. So no, maybe. Yes. I think Aaron asked us some questions. He always asks. He comes through. So she says, I'm terrible at euchre. Last time I played, I had several people around me criticizing my every move. In their defense, I was playing really bad. But now I think my confidence is completely gone, and I think I need a safe environment to relearn it. Would you and Lincoln be open to giving me a crash course on how to be a better euchre player? I don't know if I could ever teach you to be a better euchre player, Alea.
I can teach you how to like cheat and get away with it at euchre. Yeah,
I will teach you how to play. That's for sure. So that's something we might have to set up as a euchre night or something.
Yeah, we could play some euchre. That'd be fun. That'd be we could generate some content. We could record it. Yeah,
everything's content, as a wise person once said earlier on this podcast.
That wise man is Cody Young.
And she said, I love when you say something. She's talking about Tim and me, and so completely ridiculous that Lincoln is speechless for a few seconds before saying, that's not how it works. She loves that. So
that happens a lot all the time here.
Yeah, it does. It does. This is a very normal thing for us to do. So yeah. Thank you, Alea. Our 2 questions from Aaron. But maybe before we get to that, we should talk about something that's near and dear to Aaron's heart, to our heart, to Lincoln's heart, and that's Lady Gaga.
Golf lessons with John.
Golf lessons with John. So earlier today, Thursday, Lady Gaga's dog walker was walking and got shot, and her 2 French pit bulls, I think they're French pit bulls, her 2 dogs were stolen. And so it's pretty rough. Earlier today, but not as early as when the guy got shot, but like kind of a little bit later on in the day, Lady Gaga posted a $500,000 reward for anyone who finds her dogs. So anyways, if you guys have friends who live in LA, please be on the lookout. Watch their Instagram, their Snapchat stories, their Facebook stories, and see if any of them have their 2 dogs. Oh, the dog walker is expected to recover. Good news. We did pray for him. French Bulldog. So if you guys see 2 French Bulldogs on anyone's stories or whatever, snitch. $500,000 is on the line.
Those are some expensive dogs.
They are. Yeah, thoughts and prayers to let's see if I can find their names. It's I can't find their names. So I'm sure Aaron knows them. Yeah, so that's rough. I can't believe someone shot someone and stole their Asia. One of them is named Asia. And I can't find the other one.
I can
Koji and Asia.
I can believe it.
Yeah. You can believe that someone shot a dog walker and took their dogs
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Especially if they knew.
Oh, yeah.
If they knew what they were doing, if they were a little bit desperate.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to steal
California
Lady Gaga's.
is a dumpster fire, so everyone's a little desperate there. It makes sense.
Yeah. That's not the craziest thing I've heard. I don't know. Usually you'd kidnap someone's child for ransom.
Yeah,
but it's 2021 and dogs are kind of playing the role now.
Yeah, and dogs are more valuable than children. For sure. I mean,
and
Lady Gaga,
yeah, an AKC certified golden lab costs $3,000. Can't even buy. I mean, it's more expensive than babies are.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think your average birth, right, is
you just go and get one.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, I don't know if Lady Gaga has children, so these would be technically her children. Aaron can provide more details on that.
They're technically her dogs.
That's
unless they identify as children.
You can't. I don't know. You identify as what you identify, and it's the bed you lay in. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so Aaron asks, did the turkey get fed to Joe or eaten by Lincoln? That's a great question. I'm not actually sure what happened to the turkey. Do you remember when you're cooking the turkey?
It's in bags in the fridge for Joe.
Is it? Answer for Joe.
I didn't eat it because it tasted all gross and freezer burned.
Yeah, and Joe's going to love it. He's going to absolutely love it.
Yeah.
He loves human food.
He does.
He does. Aaron's second question is, how would you style this Burberry t-shirt? I'm going to show you the picture of it.
All right, listeners. So here's what the t-shirt looks like. It's a black t-shirt with 2 holes cut out on the chest area to expose whatever might behind the chest area.
Nipples.
I mean,
probably. Or if you're a man wearing a bra. Or if you have cool tattoos. Or any number of things. You're right. You were right.
How would I style it?
How would I style it? Well, there's one answer that came to mind right away for me, and I throw a hoodie right over it. Because it's cold out.
Yeah.
And it's basically like you don't have a t-shirt. So it's like hoodie, half t-shirt weather. How would you style it, Lincoln?
I really don't know.
Yeah. I think maybe another
something underneath it. I just don't know what that something is. Maybe
chainmail.
Like a mesh, sort of tank underneath it.
Okay.
That would you could do that.
Your hoodie.
Underneath it.
Yeah.
Something with a chest pocket so you can still use it.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Like
an inverse chest pocket or something. Maybe like a pocket underneath where the rip was at.
Just a pocket right there where the hole is. Just right there. Just right a pocket.
There. Yeah.
Otherwise, don't know. Seems like a waste of money.
Well, can I tell you how much it costs? Do you want to guess?
Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
What's the brand?
Burberry.
All right, so
Nordstrom Burberry. Nordstrom brand.
So Burberry is a brand of cologne.
Okay.
Way overpriced cologne.
Okay.
I mean, whatever. If it's worth it, it's worth it. Yeah. I'm gonna say this shirt is definitely 3 figures. I'm gonna say this shirt retails for $279.
Nice. How
much is it? I didn't look first. I'm just guessing.
You're so close. Now it's on sale, so you were closer to the on sale figure, right? So you said $279.
So that's close to the on sale figure. I'm gonna say it's $315 all day retail.
So the on sale price is $289. So you were $10 off. I'm impressed.
$1, Bob. $1. It's a strategy.
The actual price is $590. Is on sale for $289.
That's a good deal. It's half off.
It's half off, 50% off, and it's sold out. So
you get roughly 80% of the shirt. So
yeah,
those numbers
win-win.
They work out.
50% off, 80% of the shirt. You're getting 30% there. It's called investment.
Yeah, stocks. I got another question from, or was that?
That was it. Thank you, Aaron.
Some questions from our friend Alex. He has 3 questions.
I love Alex.
First,
I love you, Alex.
Question the first.
Okay.
What is the difference between 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive? Timon, take it away.
All right. So that's a great question. Now, 4-wheel drive is for vehicles with 4 wheels. Okay. So you gotta imagine. Yeah. You can't have a semi that has 4-wheel drives because they have like 8 wheels or 12 wheels or
18
wheels.
That's why they call them 18-wheelers, Timon.
Well, some semis don't identify with that many wheels. So those 18-wheelers are all-wheel drive because all wheels drive. But for your typical 4-wheel drive vehicle, it has 4 wheels. I think now that I'm saying this, there might be a better explanation. Can I say this is what I initially thought? This is now my new thought.
What's the difference between 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive?
So I think all-wheel drive.
We'll cut and come back to here.
And cut and come back. So I think what you might say, Lincoln, your truth.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I know.
I'll say the real answer when you're done.
Don't say. Okay, all right. I think all-wheel drive is where each individual wheel is set up on its own autonomous, can drive by itself, gets its power somehow. And 4-wheel drive is each set of wheels has power running to it. Is that closer to the
So what's the difference?
So like each, like you get, like, I don't know.
That's the answer I was looking for, Timon.
I'll go back to my first answer. 4-wheel drive is for vehicles with 4 wheels. That makes sense. Can you explain?
So, nothing. It's all just marketing at this point. But formerly, 4-wheel drive was typically reserved for trucks and off-road vehicles and kind of optimized for off-road driving. Typically, it would have 2 solid axles and the drivetrain would lock. And so it would force all 4 wheels or just the 2 front or the 2 rear to all turn at the same rate all the time.
Okay.
And so this is bad for on-road driving because when you turn, like go around a corner, the rate at which your wheels turn changes because of the radius of the circle in which you are turning. And so sometimes when
geometry.
Sometimes when you're driving in a truck with a 4-wheel drive on, it'll hop if you turn too sharp or something like that.
Okay.
So it has lockers and stuff like that. All-wheel drive is optimized for on-road usage. Usually has a center differential, which can switch if the power goes to the front or the rear.
Okay.
And a lot of trucks have like center differentials too, but it's more of a domesticated version
vehicle. Yeah. That's exactly
sort of what you're saying. Sometimes it like more power can get sent to the front or the rear on command, depending on what the vehicle is.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of all-wheel drive systems. But typically anymore, 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive are just marketing terms, and they all kind of do the same thing.
Gotcha.
Especially since all SUVs are just minivans at this point.
Oh, interesting.
And real trucks are kind of just trucks, not like Suburbans and stuff. So yeah, cool. Just most all-wheel drive vehicles are actually just front-wheel drive, and unless it's really slippery or you really like drive crazy, it doesn't really send any power to the rear ever. And so that all-wheel drive crossover you got, because it was so good in the snow, it's mostly just front-wheel drive.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Marketing.
So for like your regular, so would they say just if you weren't 4-wheel or all-wheel, would you be 2-wheel?
Yeah, front-wheel drive or
front wheel,
rear-wheel drive.
It does that depend on the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like your Honda Civic, front-wheel drive.
Okay.
Most sports cars are like rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, depending on kind of what it's for. There are some like sporty front-wheel drive cars, but typically from a performance aspect, you want your tires to have different jobs and not the same job.
Gotcha.
So you don't want your front wheels having to put the power down and also change directions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that makes one job for each set of wheels.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Wow, that's interesting. Learned something new today. I learned another thing that was new today. Did you know the word toward and towards, right?
Yes.
Are the same word, just one has an S and one doesn't?
Yeah, one's plural.
No.
It's when you go more than twice in the same direction. Towards. I'm going towards you. Twice.
Toward or towards. Plural. But the difference between those two words is toward is used in Canada. Shout out to Canada. And the U.S. predominantly. And towards is used in Australia and the UK. That's the only difference. They mean the same thing. Found that out today. So it's about the same as your car stuff and
the Merino. Moving on to the next question.
We have more questions. Okay,
question the second.
From Alex?
Yeah, from Alex. Okay. Would you say that most, if not all, dietary studies we have are rubbish?
I think the problem with dietary studies is they're studying one or a group of people's diets, right, and their bodies. And when you look at the whole scheme of 7 billion people, we're all unique and complex. So
I would say it's a problem with the application of the study, not the study. Because if you're studying diets of elderly men and you're a young female, that might not be super applicable to you.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I wish I knew what he was getting at with this question. I should have followed up in the chat about it.
With a question on another question.
Like, probably not. I don't know. There's all sorts of ways to read research and see where funding for research comes from. And in like studies, they have to publish like the methodology they used and like everything has to be published.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's hard to conceal things, but like if you have read some research studies, that should be something that I'm nervously looking at the camera. That should be something that you have learned to pick out. And so that's the idea, is that there's a lot of transparency.
Yeah, but in a world where all we read is headlines, you know what I'm saying?
No, and even there's like in research studies, there's something called an abstract, which is like a summary.
Okay.
And it's you're supposed to write an abstract at an 8th grade level as far as reading. So anyone should be able to, if they've graduated 8th grade. Yeah. But no, I wouldn't say that. I think like science changes all the time, right? And so, you know, a study from 100 years ago, you know, that's the whole point, is to gather data and support a hypothesis.
Yep.
So I
believe it blindly is what he's saying.
I don't understand the question is what I would say.
I would say, good question, Alex. Let's circle back around.
Let's circle back around to it. Mm-hmm. Like yesterday's episode, circle back around. Go listen to it if you haven't listened to it.
It's so good.
And another, this one will be pretty brief and pretty simple and easy to answer. Question the third. What's the difference between being happy and being content?
Ooh. Said it was going to be super brief. You little stinker. Oh, man. Being content and being happy.
I think you can be unhappy but be content. Right?
Yeah, I'm not even sure what being happy is like.
Yeah, I don't. Or being content.
Yeah.
Or what's the difference between being content and being like complacent?
Or comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? I definitely associate like
a bulletin
board system. I definitely associate the word happy as like a emotional like feeling versus contentment being kind of like a mindset. That's how that hits me, but I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I would say when I'm not doing this podcast, I'm content, and when I'm doing the podcast, I'm happy.
I would say that when I'm doing the podcast, I am unhappy, and when I'm doing the podcast, I'm hungry.
Great question, Alex. Thanks for the.
Alex, what do you think? What do you think the difference between 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive is?
Ooh, that's a good question. Awesome. Should we just wrap? Any more questions?
Alex also put an F in the chat, which I think was a reference to when we talked about spamming our phone number neighbors with podcast links, which no one seemed to want us to do, so we didn't do it.
Yeah.
If you want us to do it, tell us with words. A few of you, not just Alex, probably.
Or Alex.
I mean, I want multiple people to be into this. Alex is a big fan, and I'm here for it.
Maybe Alex identifies as multiple people.
I don't think he does.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. We'll circle around back to that.
We'll circle back around to it.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
I'm looking for other things.
Ooh, Aaron threw some shade at you, bro.
Did he? Did he really?
He said, Lincoln with long hair looks vaguely familiar to me. He was an NPC at Grace.
NPC?
Yeah. Non-player character. I get the reference, Aaron. It's just like you're
Yeah, I kept to myself.
He's an introvert. We already discussed he did not make friends very easily.
A non-player character. Just like some sort of like background, like, like you could be an extra in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the dude with long hair. There were two of us at Grace. The other guy had long curly hair, and I had long straight hair.
Who was the curly?
Robbie.
Oh.
But he played in Chapel Band.
Yeah. Robbie. Yeah.
So he was a player character,
Brandon
for sure.
Paul? Is that a word? Is that a name? Did he have long hair?
A little bit.
Okay.
For a minute, yeah. Not as long as mine. No man had hair as long as mine at Grace College in that era.
Yours was the longest.
Robbie probably did because it was curly and pretty long, and when you straighten it, it gets super long. So.
Yeah. Rodney Kelly. Minister Rodney C. Kelly.
Different era. This is like 2013. He definitely was not there in 2013.
Yeah, no, he totally was there. No, my freshman year, he came and visited and then came back the next year, sophomore year.
Yeah, but he was gone by 2013.
He was there. He was living in Yellow House.
He was 100% not there in 2013.
Oh, I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know.
I would have measured hair with him if he was, because I measured hair with Robbie, and it's
his hair was in locks though. You know what I'm saying? That's like 1/3 of the actual length, so you have to triple it to understand. All right, let's wrap this up. Guys, thanks so much for listening to another Friday podcast. We're so thankful for you. You guys have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks for watching.
Well, yeah, thanks for watching. This should be up on our new YouTube channel, which will be spammed on all of our social medias.
Which has yet to be named because daily content probably isn't a good name to continue to use for branding purposes. So look for
Friday content, maybe.
Look for a revamp of what this is, probably.
With it. Well,
how long are we going to be able to use the daily content name?
I have no clue.
Probably stop at a year. Transition to something else.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Bye.